What's going on today, YouTube? I know I haven't uploaded recently, but today I'm back. It was about a week ago after I finished Resident Evil. I still do have to do some uploads for that, but after I finished that, my boy hit me up, said, "Yo, Jim, Apex just came out with a 3v3 mode. I think you would like that." He was right. I love it. But if you are like me and you're coming from a different FPS shooter, it could be difficult to get the proper settings. If you're a controller player, this for keyboard and mouse, I'm not 100% sure what the settings will be, but this will be mostly for controller players and the ADS settings, the sensitivities, all of that good stuff. So we're going to get right into the video. Cue my intro. Shit, I don't have an intro. Now that I've queued up into the firing range, which did take a little bit of time, I want to go over the settings and then some of the guns I use for the various maps that are in the arenas that might be helpful to you. All right, so we're just going to go from the gameplay screen and then we're going to move over to the controller screen. The crosshair damage feedback, it is X with the shield icon so that you know when you break, or when you know when they have shield and you're hitting them with shield. The damage numbers are stacking, so it just shows you, like, if you hit them with 2 shots, it'll just show the combined damage that you did. So I do have auto sprint on. That's something that's a little bit different in FPS shooters. I don't typically have auto sprint on, and this one I think you can get away with it. The double tap to sprint, I did play with it. Did have it on. I didn't like it at all. Now this is a big one. If you are a Valkyrie user, you're going to want the jetpack control as hold, so that you don't jump. If you're coming over from Call of Duty and you try to do the bunny hop jumps, you don't want to just go right into the jetpack animation because it's instantly dead. And I was struggling with this until I turned this on. Now the incoming damage feedback I have is 3D. I believe that is when you're being shot. It tells you where you are being shot at. 3D. It just feels like the best. Let's get into the controller. Stick layout I have as default. That is preference. Everything is going to be preference, but this is just what I use, and I think it is the best to use. Now, the interact, I have tap to use, hold to reload, just because coming from Call of Duty, that's what I have over there. It's just a lot easier for me. The crouch button I do have as toggle. I did have it as hold, and I just felt like it was a very good way to break your controller, just wear it down, and I didn't like that. The A button, hold, I don't know who uses toggle, but you are a psychopath if you do. The look sensitivity I do have as super high, and then the look sensitivity when you're aiming down sight, I have that as very high. Now for me, that just feels good. I feel like it's still slightly slower when you are ADSing, even though it says very high. Let's go into the per optic setting, look sensitivity, super high, ADS very high. I do have per optic on because I do like to move around a little bit more with the higher zooms, the higher zoom optics. And this is just what it looks like. So first 1 and 2 I have as very high because I just like it as a regular. 3 and 4 is super high, and then 6 through 10 I do have as ultra high. Those are what work for me. You can change that how you feel, but that's just feels very smooth. And as you get up into the higher zooms, I kind of like more progression, because if somebody's running away and you have distance in between them, you want to be able to keep up with them running, especially if it's a crackhead Octane, because he runs fast as shit. The response curve, I have as steady, and it feels very good for me. It was originally on linear, and it was recommended for people on an Xbox Elite controller with customized non-default stick sensitivities. For some reason, it was, I think, already put on for mine. I guess if you don't have the customized, you want to change that immediately, because when I was aiming, it would just peck over. Instead of being like a solid straight line, it would jump. And I was having a really hard time with it until I put it on steady. The look dead zones I do have as large. I think I did end up trying it. It was very bad for me. For some reason, even though I have a brand new controller, I have the larger stick on my Xbox controller. Pause. But I do have the larger stick on one of them, and for some reason it causes a lot of drift. I don't know if it's just because it's too heavy or if my controller is messed up. Okay, now that we got through the settings, I'm going to go over the main weapons that I use in each of the different maps. For the first one, we're going to be going over the Hemlock. That's what I use mostly in Party Crasher. That's the one with the boat. We call that the boat map. It just feels super dynamic, even when they're pushing you. I'll never upgrade it past blue. I do like this 2x. 2x is completely fine with it. Even if they're super far away, you can kind of peck, you know, like from this distance. So that's a cumulative. I think it does a little bit less damage. Yeah, I don't think it does 20 damage. I think it does 15 damage at super far distances. So this one's telling me that it's a little bit stronger in the firing range, which I guess it is a little bit stronger in the BR. But it just feels like a very good weapon. It's very solid. And I'm not typically a fan of the burst weapons in FPS shooters, but this one just feels a lot more controlled. And especially when you're in Party Crashers, everyone likes to push boat very, very quickly. So you just get the boat, you get on top, and it could just do some damage. It might not fully kill someone unless you have a teammate helping you out, but it's a very nice weapon. Okay, so for my next main weapon is the Volt SMG. And this is a main weapon that I use in Thermal Station, I believe it is called. We just call it Lava Land, me and my teammates. Just has a solid rate of fire, and it can, you know, it just shoots steady. It's a very nice weapon. It's not going to help you out at range at all, but I do like to get this as high as possible. So, which is purple. You get the threat, so the threat scope, which is very good. It doesn't do crazy damage. Again, I don't think it does 15. I think it does 12 when you're in the arena from max range, but it's still good. You can kind of pick and prod if they're very deep and just wait back, wait for them to get into the circle, and then you just roast them with it. It's just a very good weapon. And I get that people would probably say that you could use the R99. For that one, I don't really like. I mean, it is very good close range. It just shoots so fast that if you're not very accurate with it, it can be very unforgiving because you just be really reloading the whole time. For the last one, which I believe the map is called Phase Runner, we just call it teleporter or tunnel, whatever. I'd like to go with the Sentinel. There tends to be a lot more distance in this map, and it is a little bit more random with the circle. Typically, the circle in the other two maps that I previously mentioned, the circle, you know, pretty much where it's going to be. It's almost always consistent. But this is the weapon that I like to run in Phase Runner because you can charge it, give it a little bit more damage. So what I do is I buy a lot of the mini shields, and you should have plenty to do it. I will never upgrade this past what I get in the 2x scope. I don't really like the longer range scopes, and I hate the starting sniper scope, so I will go with the iron sights to start out with when I do use it. But it just provides nice damage. It just, you hit them, you call them out to your teammates, say, hit them for this much, you can push. So that was with it charged. Now this is without it charged. Does 70. So you're getting 18 more damage, and I'm pretty sure this is consistent with the arenas, unlike the other two weapons. Now, I could be a little bit wrong. I'm just going off the top of my memory. I like this weapon. It feels solid, but you could go with the longbow. The longbow I do like as well. And I will typically pair this with the R301 because it is just a very solid weapon to use. Or I'd pair it with the Hemlock if I am missing my shots, or just scrap it altogether. That's all I have from the video. Make sure you check out the links in the description, which are my socials. Please follow me over on the other sites so you know whenever I drop new content or whenever I'm going live over on Twitch, which I will be streaming this game very much because I do like it. And that would be at 5 p.m. every weekday. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, evening, night, whenever you're watching this, and much love. Peace.